It was one of those days in La Trobe where everything feels like it's about to pop off. The energy's building, the pads are on, the players are dialed in, fans are lining the hills. You can practically smell the first real contact coming. And then, boom, a single clap of thunder rolls in from somewhere off in the distance. And suddenly, everything changes. You see guys start looking at each other, glancing toward the hill, coaches checking the skies like meteorologists in QUITS. And before you know it, the loudspeakers kick in, calling for everyone's attention. And just like that, practice is done, canceled, moved indoors. The first real padded action of training camp, gone with a single shift in the weather. Now, anyone who follows football closely knows how valuable these padded practices are. Without them, you're just going through the motions. That's not football, that's choreography. There's no way to truly evaluate linemen, offense or defense. Without pads, you need the physicality. You need to see who wins the rep when everything's live. So yeah, losing a padded day is rough, especially for a team like the Steelers, who've got a whole lot of guys fighting for position, fighting for starting jobs, and in some cases, fighting to stay on the roster. And yet, even in the midst of this stripped-down version of practice, there were things that stood out. One of them, Darnell Washington lining up at what looked like left tackle. I'm not kidding, for a split second, I genuinely thought they were running him there for real. Turns out, it was just a funky alignment. Both tackles had shifted to the right side, pushing Darnell in closer to the left guard, making it look like he was anchoring the blind side. He wasn't. But still, it raised a few eyebrows, and not just because of the visual, but because it kinda taps into a larger question that seems to be buzzing around Steelers Nation right now. What's going on with Broderick Jones? Let's talk about it, because I've been hearing it, reading it, sensing it, that creeping doubt. That feeling like maybe, just maybe, the team is trying to find a way to work around Broderick instead of through him, and if that's not where your head's at, great, but I get the impression a lot of fans are starting to feel that way, especially after seeing some clips from practice making the rounds on social media, clips where he's getting beat in drills, looking a step behind. One video in particular went viral, and yeah, it didn't look great. But let's pump the brakes a little. None of that stuff matters right now. I mean it, zero, zilch. Because all those drills, no pads, no real contact, you're watching a simulation. And trying to judge offensive line performance without pads is not just unfair. It's borderline meaningless. It's like trying to evaluate a boxer by watching them shadow box. You need resistance. You need force. You need a live opponent to really see what's what. And until those pads come on and we get some real battles in the trenches, everything else is just noise. Now, to be fair, Broderick hasn't been perfect. No one's saying that, but there's also been a very deliberate effort from him this offseason. He's reshaped his body, trimmed down a bit, working on his quickness and adaptability. He's trying to become more reactive, more in control. When the first punch lands, when that initial move from a rusher throws him off balance, that's growth, that's effort. And it's not something we should ignore just because of a couple of sketchy clips. Plus, and this part's important, he hasn't missed a padded session yet. That storm may have wiped out one day, but Broderick is still on track. Mike Tomlin made that crystal clear. He said Broderick would be participating in the next padded practice, period. And if you've been paying attention to Tomlin's tone whenever Broderick comes up, you'll know the coach doesn't have a whole lot of patience when it comes to injuries, especially ones that don't result in missed reps. That's just how he operates. Last year in camp, Broderick would come over and mention he had something bothering him. And Tomlin's immediate response, has he missed any reps? Nope. Okay. Next question. So, if you think fans or media are putting pressure on Broderick right now, just imagine what's going on behind the scenes. Inside that building, inside that locker room, that pressure is real. It's constant. And it's not just on him, it's on all of them. Take Zach Frazier. He was one of the top-rated rookie centers in the entire league last year. Some even had him top 5. But guess what? None of that means anything now. He's got to go out and do it again in year 2. And no one knows that better than Zach himself. Then there's Spencer Anderson. With Isaac Sumalo sidelined, Spencer's got to step up. And not just as a temporary fill-in, he's the backup at both guard spots. He's got to show he can handle that responsibility. Because this isn't the preseason anymore where mistakes get brushed off. In 2025, he's going to see action. That's a fact. Troy Fontenot had one incredible game last season. 5 to 5 snaps in Denver where he looked like a monster, and then that was it. That was the only real look we got. He knows it. We talked the other day. And you can just feel it in the way he carries himself. He's hungry. He's frustrated. Not in a bad way, but in that locked-in, laser-focused kind of way. He wants to prove he belongs, and to be honest, the entire offensive line room seems to have that same mentality, even Mason McCormick, who actually got meaningful playing time as a rookie after James Daniels went down early. He gave up just 2 sacks the entire season, but both of them came in the playoff game. That stings. That stays with you. And Mason knows it. He talked about the expectations this group has for themselves now. They're still young, yeah, but the excuses are gone. It's time to take the next step. That's the vibe right now. The energy is different. It's not just about learning the playbook or adjusting to the speed of the game. It's about proving you're the guy, that you can be counted on when it matters. And that applies across the board. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. The salary cap situation. $17.5 million in space sitting there and not a single move. Yet to bring in another wide receiver or veteran tackle. Yeah, it's frustrating. A lot of fans feel like Omar Khan has been way too cautious here. Like he's willing to make the big moves, but then leaves glaring holes untouched. That WR situation last year, disaster, no question. It cost them, but let's be fair. Just because there's cap space doesn't mean every dollar is free to spend. The front office always keeps around $5 million in reserve for emergencies, injuries, mid-season pickups, that kind of thing. So, it's more like $12 million available, give or take, and when you look at the market, especially at offensive tackle, it's slim pickings. Starter-level guys are either already locked down or way too expensive. That's why Dan Moore is about to get paid $82 million in Nashville. It's a premium position. If you've got a tackle, you keep him. If you've got depth at tackle, you're basically sitting on a gold mine. So yeah, they're going to keep looking, but they're not going to panic if Dylan Cook doesn't show well. If Calvin Anderson looks a little past his prime, then they'll make a move. Maybe after preseason when other teams start making cuts, but for now, the plan is to see what these guys can do, let them earn it, and as for the receiver position, I still believe that's where most of the remaining cap space is going to go. They've been sniffing around that market for a while. They know they need another weapon. Somebody reliable, especially on third downs, someone who can win one-on-ones consistently. But they're not just going to throw money at the next guy on the list. They're going to be selective. They've got a plan. Look, the frustration is real. I get it. We all want to see this roster locked and loaded, but the truth is, the real work is happening right now on those practice fields or gym floors. If the weather has anything to say about it, these reps, these battles, this grind, this is where the identity of the 2025 Steelers is being forged. And from everything I've seen, everything I've heard, this group is ready. Hungry, focused. They're not perfect, but they're putting in the work. And when those pads finally come back on, for real this time, we're going to start getting some answers. And when we do finally get those answers, they might not be the ones people are expecting, because here's the thing about training camp. It doesn't care about your draft status. It doesn't care about where you came from, how much hype you had coming in, or how many times your name was trending on social media. All it cares about is whether you can line up and win your rep. That's it. And that's what makes it so raw, so real, and honestly, so thrilling to watch play out in real time. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Hola, aficionado. Q opinas de estas emociones noticias, no olvides. Subscriber y darle un me gusta al video. Para no perder ninguna noticia exclusiva sobre Chivas Guadalajara and El Canal Rabawo Rojiblanco. The NFL community is abuzz with speculation as whispers intensify around TJ Watt, the Pittsburgh Steelers star linebacker. Known for his relentless pass rushing skills and defensive dominance, Watt's name has long been synonymous with the Steelers' defensive identity. However, recent murmurs suggest that the relationship between Watt and the Steelers' front office might be reaching a breaking point. Could the franchise be on the verge of losing one of its brightest defensive stars over the past few weeks? Insiders have hinted at increasing tension behind the scenes within the Steelers organization, with Watt reportedly caught in a disagreement that could reshape his future in Pittsburgh. Sources close to the linebacker suggest that the fallout stems from contract negotiations and differing visions about the team's direction. creating a rift that hasn't been publicly addressed, but is raising eyebrows across the league. TJ Watt's impact on the Steelers cannot be overstated. Since being drafted in 2017, he has emerged as a defensive force, earning multiple Pro Bowl selections and consistently ranking among the league's top sack leaders. His relentless pursuit of quarterbacks, coupled with his leadership on and off the field, has made him a fan favorite and a cornerstone of the Steelers' defense. For Pittsburgh, losing Watt would signify more than just the departure of a player. It would be the end of an era. Yet, despite his on-field success, the off-field dynamics appear increasingly complicated. Rumors hint that Watt's camp is frustrated with the current contract offer from the Steelers, feeling that it doesn't adequately reflect his value or his contributions to the team. There is talk that Watt has expressed a desire for a fresh start elsewhere if an agreement cannot be reached, fueling speculation that a trade or a holdout might be imminent. The Steelers, traditionally known for their conservative approach to contracts and roster management, may be facing one of their most challenging decisions in recent memory. Retaining a star like Watt means navigating the fine line between salary cap constraints and rewarding a player who has become a franchise icon. On the other hand, moving on from Watt could signal a rebuilding phase, one that would undoubtedly disappoint the team's loyal fanbase. NFL analysts are already weighing in on the potential ripple effects of Watt's departure. Teams in need of a pass rushing boost are reportedly monitoring the situation closely, prepared to make a move should the Steelers decide to trade their star linebacker. The market for elite defenders is always competitive, and Watt's availability could trigger a flurry of trade talks as franchises seek to bolster their defenses ahead of the upcoming season. Meanwhile, Steelers fans are left in suspense, watching closely for any official statements or developments. The organization has remained tight-lipped, neither confirming nor denying the rumors, which only adds fuel to the speculation fire. Social media is flooded with reactions, some expressing disbelief, others urging the team to do everything possible to keep Watt in black and gold. As the saga unfolds, one thing is clear: TJ Watt's future with the Pittsburgh Steelers is anything but certain. Whether this situation leads to a dramatic trade, a tense holdout, or a last-minute resolution, it has already captured the attention of the entire NFL. The coming weeks promise to be pivotal, not only for Watt and the Steelers but for the league as a whole. Could this be the end of TJ Watt's storied tenure in Pittsburgh? Or will cooler heads prevail, allowing the linebacker to continue building his legacy with the team that drafted him? For now, the only certainty is uncertainty, and the football world waits with bated breath. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.